Hi, my name is Armando Cruz, creator and founder of Cruz Country Fitness and Physical Therapy. And in this video, I want to share a staggering statistic that says the 50% of the US population will gain between 5 to 11 pounds between Thanksgiving and New Year's. And the kicker of it is most will never lose it again. So just imagine the implications of that year after year after year. So let's think about what the general trend is. And if we can base that off the zigzag principle, which basically states most people and most things will follow a certain pattern. That's the zigging. And if you want to stand out, if you want to break that mold, you have to zag. It sounds, you have to do something that's counterintuitive very often. And that was the premise of the Slimmer in 6 program. In fact, one of the questions or one of the statements that I based this all around was there's almost a better way of doing what you're already doing. Most of us at some point in our life have tried to be healthier, lose weight, tried an eating program, tried an exercise program. And if you're listening to this video, there's a good chance that it hasn't worked for you long term, or it worked for you but you haven't been able to stick with it. So now you need to ask yourself why. Why does this continue to happen? Why do we fall into these patterns over and over and over again? And that's why we decided to create this program in a very counterintuitive way, where most people will say one thing. We looked at the research and figured out what are other ways that people are not really exploring but should be exploring to really maximize their results and their long-term success. If you're tired of the same old program, if you're tired of being part of the masses that just follows what everybody else is doing, if you're tired of zigging and are looking to start zagging and creating a future that you're in control of, then let's dive in a little bit more about what this program is. First and foremost, when we created this program, the goal was to lose 1 to 2 dress or pant sizes by the time Christmas comes. We want you to feel better, we want you to enjoy the process, and we want to make it simple. Very often we confuse complex things with being more effective, and very often it's the exact opposite. In fact, the more complex something is, you decrease the chances of somebody being able to be compliant with it. So simplicity and effectiveness need to be part of this equation, and that's what we were aiming and shooting for. So this is a 6 weeks program that starts November 8th. That means this Saturday, November 8th, this program is going to start. What I want to take you on is a journey into what the current industry standards are for, let's say, losing the current dress or pant size. And I want to show you how in the Slimmer in 6 program, we're going to shift that. We're going to turn it on its head and really approach it from a completely different angle to help serve you better and empower you to grow with this long term. Even though the program is only 6 weeks, if you take the principles in this, you can continue to apply them. So let's look at nutrition. We all know that nutrition is an important part, an integral part of transforming and keeping ourselves vital, keeping us energized. And so the focus has always been on the what. What should you eat? You're going to eat, high protein, low fat, high carbs, low fat, all fat. There's so many different diet books out there. There's so many different things. And it's always focused on the what and how much are the portions, right? But there are a lot of things that are not being accounted for. And very important things, because they will determine a lot of the actions that you do. Very often the what is not really the problem. Most of us understand that, hey, a cheeseburger is probably not as good as a nice solid, a cheeseburger is not as healthy for you as a nice grass-fed piece of chicken on a salad. We understand that conceptually, we understand that logically, but where is the application of that? What are other influences that will make us choose the cheeseburger versus the chicken and the salad? Who? First and probably the most important who that you can talk about is who are we when we are approaching eating? Who are you as a person at that point? And I know that sounds a little out there and and philosophical, but it's more along the lines of where are you in your state? Where are you in your being right now? If you're completely stressed out, if you're not present, if you are completely distracted by everything else that's going on in your life, your body's not going to absorb and process the food that you are eating correctly. Also, who are you with? Certain people in your life that, when we're talking in relation to food, are not going to be your best examples or your best influences. So perhaps those people don't need to be around you when you're eating, if possible. Also, when are you eating? What times of the day? When is it fitting with everything else? How is it connecting with everything else that you're doing? Because again, we're not machines, so they're not independent of the others. So everything connects with each other. Where are you eating? In fact, there are some studies that show more than 50% of all meals take place in a car. That's huge, because if you're in a car and you're eating, how present are you? How focused are you on that food? And what is the likelihood of you just scarfing all that down and really not paying attention to what it is, causing you to feel more hungry and having you eat more? Also, when you're in the car and that's the choice that you're choosing to make, what are the food choices that you're probably going to choose if you don't have anything prepped before? Probably fast foods. So where you're consistently eating will determine your choices a lot of times. And how? How are you eating? There are actual tactics and techniques of eating that will enhance the process, will enhance absorption, and will really enhance your body being able to process it in such a way that you take what you need and you're not storing the excess in fat. Let's move over to exercise. The industry standard is harder, faster, and more of it. That is the answer. And if you look at that, it doesn't make sense. Yes, because most of that is based on a calorie in versus calorie out. And true, calorie in, calorie out, if you have a deficit, it can lead to weight loss. But that's not always the case. And in fact, a lot of times, because there are so many other factors that we're going to get into affecting that, are really going to influence whether or not that calorie in versus calorie out is going to be as beneficial for you as possible. What if we started listening to your body? Instead of just hammering, we listen to your body, what it's saying. Instead of saying, this is right or wrong, or I suck because I didn't do my exercise. Well, let's look at it from a different perspective. Let's use the framework of MEDS. And what MEDS stands for is minimal effective dose. What is that minimal effective dose that can create the greatest return for you where you are on that day, on that moment? Not ideal situation for you in 2 weeks from now. Not ideal situation if you were a professional athlete. Where are you right now, and what state, and what is going to be that minimal effective dose that will give you the most return? It's based off Pareto's law, the 80-20, meaning 20% of your efforts will yield 80% of your return. So let's dive into that and get the greatest returns. Next one, let's move over to gratitude. The industry standard doesn't even address that in most cases. Some do, but again, as far as a standard, very few touch upon gratitude. And I feel that that's the cornerstone and really one of the things that help, or the catalyst that helps everything else fall into place. So why not focus on the gratitude towards ourselves, gratitude towards others, gratitude towards experiences that we have and the experiences that we can share? How about sharing gratitude for the things that we have and the things that we can give? Gratitude will set you on the path if you start with that. So this is one of the big components of what we're going to be focusing on. And last but definitely not least is mindset. Our society has been built upon the mindset that more is better, and again, get shit done, right? If you're not getting it done, you're obviously weak. You're a person that's not committed. That's usually the terms associated with it. And the truth is that could be further from the truth. Not being able to do something or not doing something even though you know it, just like most of us with food, understand the what. Like most of us, you can show us two different foods and you can distinguish what is healthier. Now the bigger thing is, can you choose it consistently what is healthier? That comes a lot to mindset. And if we're judging ourselves on the result and saying, hey, we're weak because we haven't gotten this done, it's not going to serve you, because what most of us don't realize is that it's basic neuroscience. And I say that because most people haven't taken neuroscience. They don't understand the neuroscience of it. It has less to do with willpower, but understanding the actual brain science and the brain speak to understanding, hey, where are you in that continuum? You have your logical brain, which is in the neocortex, which is the outer part of your brain, which is responsible for that higher level thinking. The big issue is that most of us try to fix our issues in that brain, okay, in the logical framework. But the problem is that most of the issues are coming from the lower level brains, the reptilian brain, the mammalian brain, where they are more into that primal pattern, primal instinct, the survival mode. And that's what we get put into when we have these scenarios. The problem is that we're addressing it at a higher level and we're not addressing it at our level. And so part of this is understanding that and be able to grow from there so that you can make a conscious decision that's going to stick. So state is very important. That state that you are in is going to be crucial for making proper decisions. And then the rituals around that. What are the rituals that you can get taught, or what are the rituals that you can learn that will help produce states that will put you in a better decision-making abilities, right? And so hopefully, if you look at the current industry standards and are frustrated by that, maybe this will be a breath of fresh air for you. And if it is, and you're up for it, I highly encourage you and I welcome you to join us this December 8th. Sign up below. You do need to pre-register, not on the day of, because we need to be focused on that day. So make sure you sign up below and jump on board. Let's start zagging while everybody else is zigging, and start creating this asset for yourself that you can continue to grow and build from on a longer term. If this makes sense to you, again, go below, click the button, register today. If you're looking at this and you're wondering, hey, I don't know if I can commit to this right now, but this is still something that's interesting to you, feel free, shoot me an email and let me know where the hang up is right now. Hopefully we can help you through that if possible, and if not, maybe share with you something in the future. But again, if you're ready to start zagging today, if you're ready to start making that decision to take control and to really break out of the mold and to do it before Christmas, what a great present to yourself. Why wait till the new year? Everybody's like, oh, new year, new you. That's a bunch of crap. Why not do it today? The best day to start is today. Not tomorrow, not Monday, not 10 days from now. It's today. So are you going to make that decision today? If you're up for it right now, again, if you don't make that decision, and here's the thing where most people will say, oh, if you don't make that decision, your life is going to end. No, your life is going to be just fine. But your life is going to be just as it is. And so really at this point is, if you want to change from where you are right now, and you're ready to make the decision, join us. I welcome you with open arms, and I'm really looking forward to having you a part of our team. Take care. This has been Armando Cruz, and sign up on the register button below.